Welcome back everyone to Skirmishing 102, where today we are going to be breaching the Necromancer's Gate. Yes, the skirmish is once again available after that temporary shutdown. And what we are going to be doing today is setting our baseline in here. Now, I know I attempted doing a baseline with Thievery and Mischief in our last episode, but they tweaked the power of the enemy mobs quite a bit since I recorded that episode, which means that it's not going to make a good benchmark, because it's only a good benchmark if the power of the enemies are consistent with what the benchmark is. So I decided I will just redo it, this time with breaching the Necromancer's Gate, since that was the skirmish I was planning on doing for this part of the series anyway. And now this is a tier 1 solo, and we will do various runs on here at various settings to see how each of them works with the Warden. Of course, I do need to learn how to play the Warden. I still haven't gotten completely comfortable with the changes that they've made, but I am slowly working on that. Now, let's see here. Let's train ambush here. And I keep on running right next to them, expecting to do critical strike, but I have to remember we can't do it. Now, I do have to get next to the Deathmonger anyway, because he's not going to be coming to me. Looks like Flax is having a little bit of a fight up there. Yeah, not even a scratch. So they're more to tank than anything else. While I'm working on one, I am probably going to have to do a few episodes without Flax, and maybe see how much difference that makes. That could be another thing, because I'm not going to have Flax to pull off one of the enemies. Does it make a difference? Or does it not? Actually, what am I in right now? Well, that's right. The last thing I did with this character was tank the Lair of the Vermin, which means that I'm in tanking mode right now. So obviously I'm not going to be doing spectacular damage. So I think what I should do in the next episode then is, in the next episode I should run in red line, and that way we could compare how I did in red line compared to how I did in blue line. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, well that's a venomous blood arrow, and okay, we'll do the venomous blood arrow first. I consider them to be the more dangerous one. Because I'd like to be able to quickly interrupt the venomous blood arrow in there. And Pale Trapper. I was about to say, isn't all that much of a problem in solo, and of course I fling myself right into the fire as I am trying to get that out of my mouth, saying, oh, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how wrong you are. Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is you have to make sure that you don't find yourself in that fire, because that's a really, really nasty fire, but there's only a random chance that you'll be where he summons the fire, and usually you'll be able to get it out unless somebody else is there to net you or something like that. Oh, look at another gatekeeper. I think that this will make a good benchmark to have. Try to run it in various ways, in various settings for me, meaning am I in tanking stance or am I in red line on there? Then try various tiers. Now I did on the Lore Master bit. I did a couple of changes on the tiers in there. So we'll see, is that similar thing? If going to a higher tier, does that mean that I need to do damage faster, or do I have to be in blue line to make sure that I survive? And of course, how it goes without the soldier. Is the splax make a difference or not? Apparently in this case, maybe it makes a difference where if I am in blue line, maybe there's no problem without flax, but maybe in red line I need to have her pull off one of the enemies so as to make sure that I don't have any problems. It could make it, oh, actually I don't want to go against the ghosty there. It looks like I might be just out of range in damaging the Echo of Death, which is good because I really would rather damage as many of them as possible without damaging the Echo of Death, so as to avoid the Death's Echo thing. Now, of course, at this point, it doesn't matter because there's no one else around to take advantage of Death's Echo. But that's why I like to save the Echo of Death for last. Encounter. The sulphurous odor of burning lanterns wafts from the third ward. Alright, now let's see what we got. So I'm having no trouble surviving whatsoever, but I guess that's to be expected. I am in blue line after all. I mean, if I could survive tanking in Lair of Vermin, I should be able to survive a tier 1 solo run of breaching the Necromancer's gate. And I don't see how many settings in which I'll be able to survive. At what point does it become completely impossible? Right. Now, level 105, I would have been able to get all the way up to raid level on this character, but that's level 105 back when the game was at its easiest. So I suspect that's not going to happen again. There we go, and whack. And we will now get you two down. Is there anyone else around? Oh, there's a Shepherd of Filth there. I don't want to find myself surprised by a Shepherd of Filth. Oh, I forgot to... Someone gave me some advice on what to do against Shepherds of Filth, and I completely forgot what it was. Well, that worked. That was a bit of improvisation. That is not what I intended to do to try to get to work, but I forgot to double check for the episode to practice on that particular matter, so I'll have to remember to do that again. But for now, we got Fearingol here, who is slowly ticking down on there. But I'm not taking any damage. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of damage, but only a tiny little bit there. And you are down. Okay, good. Yeah, very effective in not taking damage. It's just that I'm not doing damage. I remember how quickly my Lore Master was burning down these enemies. I can remember this. I can approach them with assailment stance and fling javelins at them as I approach them, and then I could switch just as I get to melee stance. Something to consider. I don't know how well it's going to work. Maybe I could do a run where I try that out. Meaning, not make it anything that I do in this episode, but maybe something I could do in a following episode. And as that is one of the various things, try to experiment the optimal way in which to do the skirmish. I mean, that's one of the things in there. Can I do it quicker? In which stance? Are there any particular tactics that will work? I mean, yes, using my 1 or 2, warning shot, I think that you only get that in blue line. I don't think you get that in red line. So, there is that. Now, I got these AoEs in there. Oh yes, probably assuring that. Yeah, I'm surprised that anything ever attacked Flax on that one. I guess that mob never saw me, the one that was, because I'm in tanking stance, so Flax would have obviously had to have pulled it outside of my range. Either that or I didn't use any of my tanking skills on that, which is always a possibility since I wasn't thinking about attempting to do that at the time. Now, there is somebody who is trying to... Oh. Okay. That was interesting. I had forgotten that Boar's Rush is a AoE skill. And as such, it doesn't matter if you're because I had accidentally targeted on the wrong one, thinking, alright, I will just take it to the... who was throwing stuff at me. I think it was an archer or whatever, and I let it, I went to do it to the other target that was next to me, and I accidentally had it targeted on the archer, which I was thinking, okay, well that's going to miss completely, right? Uh-oh. I guess we try this again. Okay, well, okay, that was partially successful, it looks like, because it looks like I got 2 of them. Well, the fact that I moved back probably brought me out of range of that one. So I actually did find the right one to try. I'll have to try it again next time. What happened there? Not too sure. I thought I saw something go funny a little bit there. Maybe I just didn't understand some animation or something like that that confused me. Alright, that's very likely. Now that takes care of those spirits. Oh, so now we just have the Sorcerer's Ascent left, and it looks like we are going to get, unless I missed an announcement for an encounter, it looks like we were going to have the Fell Spirit as the final encounter, because I think that's the only one that's left to find. Oh, a Rage Mistress. Okay, I guess that's a good one too. And now it's your turn. I think she could bleed to death while I do that, right? I'm sure I did at least one bleed on her, right? Yeah, there we go. And we are all done here. Grab this. Be ready to welcome them. Let's get minute here. Defender of the Vial, yeah. Good choice to get kill first, seeing how he puts that defense buff on all his friends, or at least all people under him. Yeah, maybe it's just the fact I'm not doing any AoE skills. And that's the reason why he didn't notice me. But can I be interesting? It doesn't think I'm on the right target. Okay. What, did it accidentally think I wanted to attack Flax or something? Ah. Well, what's next? Oh, a blood rook. Oh, actually, let's take care of the... This is the opposite of the Defender of the Vial in that you want to take out the side members first, then you go after it. Then you go after the blood. Or at least that's what I do. What you do, I guess, is your own choice. And that's because the Blood Rook receives a buff. So Defender of the Vial gives the buff, and the Blood Rook receives the buff. So, optimal way of doing it. Now, of course, if you like doing it in a more challenging way, that's an entirely different matter. There we go. Now, the counterattack has been defeated, and... Oh. I did miss an encounter. How about that? Well... Oh, Snarl echoes from the... Oh, the warg. Oh, well. Actually, I think we should go back, because part of the thing is to do all the encounters, right? You can't do that. Oh, because that's careful step. I don't want careful step. I want forced march. There we go. So I didn't see the warg there, so it must be the warg rider then that we're talking about. And that would be over here. Ah, there we are. Now this guy gets a buff when he's high in morale, so I obviously want to reduce that as much as possible. Oh yeah, looks like he's lost that little problem. Oh, and now he's got... Oh, then it's got the corruption. Okay, there we go. Now that that's gone, you're gone. And now, we head back up to the boss. And oh yes, this time make sure that I hit Forced March instead of the other one. Because yes, being able to navigate through quickly is one of the advantages of being a Warden. I know there are other classes that also have ways of moving quickly. Bjornings, I guess if you are only going a short distance, and the champion I think has a pretty fast one that they could get moving. Then you've got the Hunter, of course, usually a little bit slower than Forced March, but they can A, give it to the entire party, and B, it doesn't go away every time you go into combat. Well, okay, it goes away for the combat, but it instantly gets reapplied or gets back into effect. I don't have to worry about remembering to hit the Forced March button every time I mean, they don't have to. I have to worry about going back into Forced March every time I want to be able to move fast after a combat. Here we go. And we get our usual bounty on there. One bounty. And that's it for our baseline run, or I should say our run with blue line. So next time we will try it in red line and see if it goes any faster when we do Breaching the Necromancer's Gate with the Warden here in Skirmishing 102.